Today a song called Unbound by the artists Excision and Sullivan King.
I've never been good at new beginnings. Everything just falls apart.
Pretty melodic start here.
Inside this hell that I'm
Good visuals too.
It's well produced.
screaming out to restart. Sometimes it's loudest in an empty room. Sometimes healing needs a garden to bloom. Sometimes the lesson isn't trust the few. 'Cause you're the last one I've got to lose. Sometimes it's loudest in an empty room. Sometimes healing needs a garden to bloom. Sometimes the lesson isn't trust the
Building up.
Yes. Can really hear the like metal and dubstep infused together. Usually they kind of flip one to the other. This one it's like really metal and dubstep at the same time.
Yeah, no, it's works really well, like just kind of combining them for sure.
Sometimes it's loudest in an empty room. Sometimes healing needs a garden to bloom. Sometimes the lesson isn't trust the few. 'Cause you're the last one I've got to
Whoop.
You can tell something's going here.
I think it's about to drop.
He has broken free.
What a heavy ending.
All right, Matt, so it obviously looked like you were really enjoying the song. Tell us your initial thoughts.
Yeah, I really like that song. It was quite heavy, but I was expecting it to be heavier, other than the last like 30 seconds, the last drop. The last drop was just phenomenal, unreal, super heavy. But before that, I was expecting something maybe heavier overall, but it was very melodic, very laid back. How about you? What were your first thoughts?
Yeah, the whole song was like, I guess just building up to that last drop right at the end of the song. I think it could have been for sure a little bit heavier, but I like how it kind of, I guess, meshed a electronic music and then the metal parts, and where the guitar parts were kind of, I guess, downbeat with the guitar and then leading up to the crazy drop at the end there. And obviously, I don't know, was the drop made by Excision or?
I'm not sure who exactly made it. It sounded like maybe a good mesh. It did sound more like Excision style, but the metal influence was definitely there. So I felt like they really meshed on that part, and maybe Sullivan King did more of the beginning part up to the last drop, but hard to say without actually asking both of them in person.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about Sullivan King too, like I don't know as much about Excision. I know you know more about him than I do, but the cool thing about Sullivan is I find that he's amazing as a guitarist, but then he's got that awesome electronic music portion to him, and then also he kind of meshes it really well with all of that, plus the guitars and his vocals. Like he sounds really good too with his vocal parts.
This is how I'll get you to listen to electronic music. You just come from metal, you listen to Sullivan King, which is a mix of the two, and then eventually it'll be full-on bass head eventually.
This is how he gets me.
One thing I did want to mention is that this song did remind me of another song I had heard, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me what that was until I looked at the YouTube comments, and someone actually commented that this song sounds like a 28 Days Later song. 28 Days Later is a great zombie movie from, I think it must have been 13, 14, 15 years ago, like quite a while ago. So I looked up the song, and then as soon as that guy's comment, it triggered my brain. I was like, yes, this is the exact song. So the song is called In the House in a Heartbeat, and it's probably the best song from that soundtrack of that movie, and it's literally like almost exactly the same. And I know I just showed you that song as well, just off camera here. And what do you think? Do you think it's the same?
Uh-oh. It did sound really similar for sure. Do you think it's just like straight up copyright, or Sullivan King and Excision like just really liking that song, or
It's really,
both? Yeah.
it's really hard to say, man. Like, it's just so similar. Up until that last drop of the song Unbound, it was exactly the same. So they did add the vocals, so I don't know, maybe it could be classified as a remix. So maybe if they got in some legal trouble, they just say, oh, it's actually a remix of the song. But if any of you guys are wanting to compare it, it's called In a House In the House in a Heartbeat. Check it out. Compare the song. It's pretty similar. We briefly touched on how Sullivan King bridges the gap between metal and dubstep and mixes them together. As a metal fan, what kind of comments did you have about that?
Yeah, I really like Sullivan King because you can tell he's like a metalhead, and he's obviously likes electronic music, so he kind of meshes both of them. But as a metal fan, I really like it because the bass is forefront, and I love that heaviness of the bass, and you just get really into the song. And I can tell that Sullivan King, obviously he likes both, and he kind of shows that in his music. And I think maybe not a lot of dubstep artists are doing that too. So I don't know. He's not obviously the first to do it, but is he kind of popularized it then?
I think so. I can't remember any others that have done it, but I swear I've heard songs by other artists who have. But I think you're right. I think he's not the first, but maybe the one doing it the best right now, and is able to bring it to the, I guess, not mainstream per se, but the most popularized version of it. And I think he does it well.
Yeah, actually, I do agree really a lot with you in saying, like, if you are a metalhead, might be like trying to get into EDM, you listen to Sullivan King because he's got like the guitar parts, and he does some screaming too, as well as the normal vocals. So yeah, I think it's a good way to kind of segue metal fans into the electronic music genre too.
Sullivan King, watch out for the copyright.